What is a futures grid bot in crypto trading? A futures grid bot is a trading bot that automatically places buy and sell orders inside a chosen price range. The main idea is simple. Instead of opening only one trade and waiting, the bot divides a price range into many smaller levels, called grids. Then it tries to trade those price movements automatically. When price moves down into one grid, the bot may open a position. When price moves back up into another grid, it may close that position or take profit. So the bot is designed to benefit from repeated movement inside a range, not from one perfect entry. That is why grid bots are usually most useful when the market moves back and forth. They are usually less effective when price strongly trends in one direction and leaves the range. This is also important to understand. A futures grid bot is not free money. It is an automation tool. It helps execute a strategy automatically, but the settings still matter a lot. If the range is poor, the leverage is too high, or the market behavior changes, the bot can still perform badly. Now let's look at the main types of futures grid bots. The first type is neutral. A neutral bot is usually used when you expect the market to move sideways inside a range. It is not strongly bullish or strongly bearish. Its goal is to keep trading the back and forth movement inside the grid. This is why neutral is often the most common starting point for range trading. The second type is long. A long grid bot is used when you have a bullish bias. You still want the market to fluctuate, but overall, you expect price to move upward. The bot keeps a long side bias while using the grid structure. The third type is short. A short grid bot is used when you have a bearish bias. You expect the market to move lower overall, and the bot keeps a short side bias while trading the grid. So the simple difference is this. Neutral is mainly for sideways markets. Long is for a bullish market. Short is for a bearish market. A short bot does not become a long bot. It keeps a short side logic. But a neutral bot can react to both directions inside the chosen range because it is built for two-way movement. Next is the price range. This is one of the most important settings. You choose a lower price and an upper price. The bot will work inside that range. If the price stays inside the range, the bot can keep opening and closing grid trades. But if the market moves above the upper limit or below the lower limit, the bot may stop opening new grid trades in the normal way and wait until price returns, depending on the situation and settings. This is why the range should not be chosen randomly. If the range is too narrow, the price may leave it too quickly. If the range is too wide, the bot may need more capital, and the distance between useful trading activity may become too large. So in practice, the range should match the market structure you expect, not too tight and not unnecessarily wide. Next is the number of grids. This means how many smaller sections the bot divides the range into. If you use fewer grids, each grid is wider. That means fewer trades, but potentially more profit per grid. If you use more grids, each grid becomes narrower. That means more frequent trades, but less profit per grid. So more grids does not automatically mean better. It usually means smaller spacing, smaller profit per completed grid, and often a higher capital requirement. Fewer grids means wider spacing, fewer executions, and usually larger profit per completed grid. Many beginners make the mistake of thinking that the highest possible number of grids is always best. That is not true. Very high grid counts can make the strategy too dense, especially after fees. Now let's look at arithmetic and geometric grid modes. Arithmetic means the price distance between each grid is equal. For example, every grid may be separated by the same number of dollars. Geometric means the percentage distance between each grid is equal. So instead of equal dollar steps, it uses equal percentage steps. Arithmetic is often easier to understand. Geometric can make more sense when price levels are large, and percentage consistency matters more. Neither one is always better. It depends on how you want the spacing to behave across the whole range. You may also see an estimated profit per grid. This is important. It shows the expected profit from one completed grid cycle, usually after fees are deducted. This number helps you understand the trade-off. More grids usually means smaller profit per grid. Wider grids usually means larger profit per grid. Now let's talk about investment and minimum investment. The investment field is the amount of capital you assign to the bot. But many people notice something else. When they change leverage, the price range, or the number of grids, the minimum investment requirement also changes. Why? Because the bot has to distribute enough capital across the planned grid orders while still meeting exchange rules, order size minimums, and margin requirements. If the range becomes wider, or the number of grids becomes larger, or the leverage setting changes, the amount of capital needed for the bot to function correctly can also change. So the minimum investment is not just a random number, it depends on the structure of the bot. Next is leverage. Leverage in a futures grid bot works the same basic way it does in normal futures trading. It makes the position exposure larger than the margin you put in. Higher leverage can make returns larger, but it also increases risk. And in a grid bot, this matters even more, because the bot may keep building and managing positions across many grid levels. This is why high leverage can become dangerous very quickly. A normal market move may be manageable with low leverage, but the same move can create serious stress with high leverage. In extreme cases, the bot can be terminated or the positions can be liquidated. So leverage should be chosen carefully. Higher is not automatically better. Now let's move to margin mode. The two common choices are isolated and cross. Isolated margin means the risk is limited to the margin assigned to that bot. That makes it easier to control risk. If something goes wrong, the damage is more contained. Cross margin means the bot shares margin with the broader futures balance. That can give the bot more support, but it also increases the risk of affecting other positions or other bots using the same margin asset. So for many beginners, isolated margin is easier to understand and safer to control. Cross margin is more flexible, but also more dangerous if not managed carefully. Now let's look at the advanced optional settings. The first two are trailing up and trailing down. These are designed to help the bot follow the market direction instead of staying completely fixed. Trailing up allows the bot to adjust upward if the market keeps moving higher. Trailing down allows the bot to adjust downward if the market keeps moving lower. These can be useful in some situations, but they are advanced tools. If you do not fully understand them, it is often better to keep the setup simple first. Another setting is grid trigger. This means the bot does not have to start immediately. Instead, you can tell it to wait until the market reaches a trigger price. Only then does the bot activate. This can be useful if you want the strategy to begin only after price reaches a specific level. You may also see a choice like last price or mark price for the trigger. We explained this in the previous video, but the short version is simple. Last price is the latest traded price. Mark price is a more stable reference used by the futures system. That means the trigger behavior can differ depending on which price reference you choose. Another optional setting is take profit and stop loss. We explained those in more detail in the earlier video, so here we only need the basic idea. Take profit tells the bot where to stop and lock profit. Stop loss tells the bot where to stop if the strategy moves too far against you. You may be able to set these by price, profit and loss, or return on investment percentage depending on the menu. Now there is another setting that becomes very important in bot trading: close all positions on stop. This means that if the bot stops because of a stop condition, the open position should also be closed. If this option is disabled, the bot may stop, but some positions may remain open. That is a very important difference. A bot stopping does not always mean every position has already been closed. So before creating the bot, you should know exactly what you want. Do you want the bot only to stop? Or do you want the bot to stop and also close the open positions? That choice changes the risk outcome. Another setting you may see is auto-add margin on bracket change. This means that if the required margin changes because of leverage bracket rules, the system can automatically transfer more margin to keep the bot active. If it is disabled, you may need to add margin manually. So this setting can help prevent the bot from stopping due to insufficient margin. But it also has a trade-off. Because extra margin may be pulled in automatically, it can affect the rest of your futures balance. So again, this is not automatically good or bad. It depends on whether you want stricter isolation or more automatic support. So the easiest way to remember futures grid bot settings is this. First, choose the right bot direction. Neutral for sideways markets, long for bullish markets, short for bearish markets. Second, choose a price range that matches the market structure. Third, choose the number of grids carefully. More grids means more frequency, but usually less profit per grid. Fewer grids means less frequency, but usually more profit per grid. Fourth, treat leverage with caution. And fifth, understand the risk settings before starting the bot, especially margin mode, trigger behavior, stop settings, and whether open positions will be closed when the bot stops. A futures grid bot can be useful, but it only works well when the settings match the market. The bot is automatic. The responsibility is not. It is still your strategy, your range, your leverage, and your risk.